What's good, YouTube? It's your girl Ace back in the cut with another reaction video. Welcome to Ace Late Night once again, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're gonna be jumping into McFly All About Us Part 1. I was so happy that I was able to find part 1 and part 2 because I'm like, dang, where am I gonna stop the video? Because I just didn't want to make it too long, but I didn't know where I would stop at because I didn't want to interrupt, just because I'm gonna just watch it. I'm gonna just watch it. So I was happy to find part 1 and part 2. Everybody's been requesting this, and it's been a minute, y'all, but I've been crazy busy, so here it finally is. Let's jump into this. If you're new, you're part of the crew, make sure that you subscribe and excuse this initial freeze.
Right, let's do it. Action.
Turn this up. No headphones today.
We've been a band for 16 years.
We're best mates. We had 7
Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
albums,
I don't even think I've been since then.
I had the best 3 friends in the world and best bandmates anyone could ever ask for.
It goes deeper.
Like, they look like they have so much fun.
It's about brotherhood.
To be the band of the moment is an amazing experience. There's only one way you go from there.
If you're new, or even if I haven't even asked yet, let me know your favorite McFly member. I don't have one yet, but I'm thinking mine might be Danny, the guitarist.
I just feel like I've been on the edge of crying for the past hour.
I think we all wanted to kind of give everyone
I might be saying it wrong.
Insight into the...
Is Danny the drummer?
Quite excited to form.
Might be saying it wrong.
Little things getting swept under the rug.
The divide got bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just kind of gave up.
We were such a tight bubble, so I would never have believed we'd get to a stage where we weren't talking to each other.
He was gone. It was too late. I've gone from having 2 bands to none at all.
Have I broken up the band? It was important for us to give some context to the fans.
They deserve to know what's happened. This is a story about love and heartbreak and highs and lows, and it's about dealing with those things.
Alright,
so here we go.
I'm so happy to watch this. Definitely give me another chance to see the other side of McFly besides them not like rocking out on stage, See them personally.
Was that natural?
That's Tom.
Hi.
Harry. No. I'm trying to guess right now, y'all. It's been a minute.
Okay. I don't know why I laugh at it. Hello.
I know Tom because I just know his face, especially from watching the wedding speech.
The band McFly.
I'm Harry Judd, and I'm the drummer in McFly.
Okay,
My name
Harry.
is Dougie Lee Pointer,
That's
and
Dougie.
I play the bass guitar in a band called McFly.
I don't know what I am. What am I, McFly?
And that is Danny. I was right.
So,
the one with the tattoos and this.
This is how the story starts. I was 17. My management, they were managing me and they were managing Busted, and they were putting together a new band, a traditional, all singing, all dancing boy band, pop boy band.
My sister, she was like, oh, here's an audition for you. You should go to it. They're looking for, Universal looking for band members.
My management said, if you come along and film the auditions and take Polaroids of the guys that are auditioning, we'll pay you a bit of money to be there.
As it printed out, there was a bit missing where it said, no guitarist.
And then suddenly in walks this guy who was completely wrong for a boy band, and it was Danny.
And they go, right, guys, we're going to play 30 seconds of music, and we want to see how you can dance. So I'm like,
30 seconds.
God.
And they're like, oh, Tom, why don't
It's a
you,
little bit of pressure.
10 minutes and go and teach him a Backstreet Boys song.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Which one is that?
If there is such thing as a soulmate, I felt like I'd met him.
It was a complete natural rapport that we had with each other.
My manager was
They were
kind of
so
like,
young,
he'd be really perfect for you, Tom. Why don't you go and talk to him afterwards and see if he wants to write with you?
And from that point on, I just knew I didn't want to carry on doing that audition. I knew I wanted to start a band with Tom.
It was destiny. And I don't think I've ever felt that connection with anyone before. And it was like, that is the next stepping stone.
That's
on
the
this
best
journey.
thing ever. Like when you go to like a new event or like to a place where you're unfamiliar, and then you find a new person, you meet a new person, you're automatically clicking. It's like y'all the best friends, and like you're just all feel isolated from everybody else. Or like, you know what I'm saying?
I started getting the train down to London. We stayed in the Intercontinental. It was just such an easy process with Tom, and it was that point I knew it was like, yeah, we got something here. We got something special.
And we just hung out and wrote songs.
Awesome.
Yeah. It
was just a really fun, creative summer with loads of momentum.
That's probably the best time you could have. Just over the summer.
This was really the kind of discovery of what was going to become McFly.
Right. Discovering with our Lord. I'm just having fun. Never gonna get that girl.
Song after song after song after song that felt like we just created, that became our sound, but we were missing the rest of the band. And so we just started holding auditions for drummers and bass players.
Got there really early. I threw up in a bin because I was so nervous.
So they went to an audition,
15 then.
found each other,
This
and came up
dude
with their
walks
own
in
audition.
with his blonde fringe into his eyes. I couldn't even see his eyes. And I'm thinking, who's this guy? Looks like he's from South Park.
The manager, Fletch, was like, yeah, okay, don't know what we're going to do. Just play something pop.
And it just threw him, I think.
And I was like, wait. I learned the bass line to Billie Jean. Here we go.
Oh, that's fire. That's fire. I would love to hear that on guitar.
Bum, 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 bum. You can imagine it.
Oh,
I'd be in
that's
the
the
groove.
only
That's my
bit I
jump right
learned.
there.
Like in my
Yo,
memory,
man, y'all should have seen me earlier. I know if y'all have seen some of my previous videos, I had afro, but I just went through like a big wash day. This is totally off guard, but big old afro. I just look like the Jackson 5.
it's an
Straight
eternity.
up the
It goes
80s.
on and on.
Now I got my hair braided
Yeah, we'll
down.
be in touch. Matt.
That was it. Like, that was his chance. Just being like, I thought it was going to be really good. You know, and then, a little bit later in the day, you get Harry who walks in, who is like the polar opposite to Dougie.
And I was like, hi, my name's Harry. I've been playing the drums for 2 years.
And he's like, right, I'm Harry, yeah. I'm going, whoa, dude.
He like brings up his chair really close to the audition table. Like, I think in my memory, he swings the chair around and sits on it kind of backwards. Like, who does that?
Right.
Harry does.
Cooling.
And he starts playing.
Cool.
Like, oh, he's a decent drummer, though. He's a decent drummer.
I mean, I could never be that confident now. 2 weeks later, I got the phone call. I was
They're
officially
having
in the
fun.
band.
Boy, I'm in a
So it was
band.
Tom, Danny, and Harry.
Our manager sent me a demo of the band and was like, look, we're really scraping the barrel here. Learn these songs and we'll give you a second chance.
And it was that point we knew what he was about.
Hey, the callback. Hey.
I always thought you guys were really good guitarists.
Man, I wasn't even born at this time. This says 2003. I wasn't even born. If anybody knows my birthday, let it be known in the comments below. Somebody say my birthday in the comments below. Let's see who are real A's.
Even the
real
fact that we
A's
said no to
supporter.
Dougie and he
We're
was
really part
terrible
of
in
the
the
family.
audition, but still somehow managed to be in the band. That's not
My birthday's
fate. What
actually
is
coming
it?
up.
It was just, we were meant to
Very
be together.
soon.
Us four were meant to be together.
So we had this house in North London that was being paid for by this amazing record deal that Tom and Danny had signed.
Living in the band house, looking back, was like...
Wait, when was this posted? I have to see when this was posted. I see. Well, actually, this was posted 2 weeks ago, but I wonder when the documentary itself was filmed because I wonder if I could see real quick. It's not showing, but I just wanted to see how long ago this was because this is almost right now, 17 years later. Like,
The most
almost 2 decades.
ridiculously fun
That's
time
crazy
of my
looking
life.
back at those times.
Kids. I just turned 18. Danny was 17. Harry was 17.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. We were so not ready to live alone.
We weren't really into going out partying, especially with Dougie as well, because he was too young to go out.
They were older and the guys totally looked after me. Harry taught me how to shave. I mean,
Aw,
a couple of them were like bad
brotherhood.
influences in other
the
areas.
bromance.
What do 17-year-olds do when they've got a house to themselves? We just stayed up all night. It was like,
Right.
we don't have to go to bed.
Oh man,
I
that
mean,
must
it
have been
was
a life.
disgusting. We had
That's our
maggots
real
in the
rock star
bin
life.
and cockroaches. I mean, it was a
Oh.
lovely house, but we destroyed it.
Yeah, about to
We're
say,
not allowed to go back and visit.
4
That's
teenage
why we're
boys,
not
I doubt they were doing that.
because they won't let us back into film. So we went from no one knowing who we were to then
Oh my
our
gosh,
first
look
single
at
coming out
Tom.
and being number one for 2 weeks.
I remember being in the band house and we were listening to the top 40 and it was announced number one as McFly with their debut single 5 Cards in the Hair.
April in 2004. This is another hint towards my birthday. I was about 3 months old. 3 months.
Who's that?
His face, he was so chubby. He was a little bit fluffy.
And suddenly, people knew who we were. Like, literally overnight.
Please welcome McFly.
McFly!
I remember going to
McFly
CDK for
to
the
the
first
A's
time.
late night.
I remember thinking this is going to be so embarrassing because no one's going to know who we are. But all these girls are like really reacting to us, and they didn't seem to care about the other boy bands. And it was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
We didn't even know how good that was.
If I was number one for 2 weeks now, I'd be walking outside all day. I wouldn't go home.
Then our second single went to number one. And then our album came out, and our album was number one.
Wow.
And then our tour sold out.
It felt like nothing could go wrong.
As much as it's fun, you also worked really hard.
They did
Because
ghosts
when
like
you
that.
get
That's
something
why.
number one, then your schedule is full. Like, we did not stop.
Suddenly
But
being in
it must
Japan,
have been crazy fun. Like, that's something that I really want to do in the future. Is like go on like road trips everywhere, just anywhere, just to explore
meeting
stuff.
these
But
Japanese
of course, they're
fans,
going to places
in
to
South
perform
America,
and
having
meet and
hundreds
greet
of people at
fans.
the
But
airport. Thinking,
that
how
still
do they
even
know
seems
who
like a
we
lot
are?
of fun.
One girl like knocked on the door and pretended to be a stripper, and 16-year-old me just like did not know what the hell to do.
They used to send some mad things.
Right,
who
gave
doesn't
that boy a
want
grown woman.
send a lady with a note on it saying how much they love you through the post? You know, it makes your day.
You know, I can see how incredibly lucky we were to have that craziness, because that is 1 in a million.
The
Yeah.
winner is
Rock stars for real.
McFly. Last year it was
Brit
busted,
Awards.
and
This
this
is
year
British
McFly
Awards.
snatched the
UK.
award away from the competition.
That boy's out here smashing their awards. That's some youngins. Look at them.
Why didn't no one
Trying to see what shoes they got on. I know they don't got shoes and Chuck Taylors on.
I'd just like to say a massive thank you.
7 number ones, 2 number one albums. You know,
Hold on, I might have to rewind that real quick. I just gotta see what shoes they were wearing on their feet. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure that's some Chucks. That's some dang Chuck Taylor Converse with the suits. They're swagging it, y'all. And the striped tie, come on. You can't even go wrong.
I'd just like to say a massive thank
And the mullet.
7 number
In the
ones, 2
swoop.
number one albums. You know, we were touring the
Killing it,
world.
man.
I'm just grateful I could share it with my mates, with my band.
To be the band of the moment is an amazing experience. You know, we were inseparable, and so I would never have believed we'd get to a stage where we weren't talking to each other.
Well,
And he's
let me ask, since I'm pretty sure like One Direction is from the UK as well, if y'all do listen to One Direction, who would y'all say? Do y'all enjoy One Direction? Do y'all not like One Direction? Do y'all like, or we just all McFly over here? Do y'all like the boy bands equally, or maybe just don't care for them at
Just
all?
said, look, what I'm saying is, if you're going to
I say me personally, growing up as a young girl, yeah, I was enjoying One Direction, but not too much. Not too much.
Years go by and the time likes to I reckon like years go by.
No, I need to watch this and react to this. It seemed like a vibe.
we were making our 6th album in 2013, and it came to a head with this song called Carrots and Peas.
Music was great, records were
that was ridiculous.
What was that one
I
about?
could see it
building.
was just such a bait. I think because you didn't want to record the song, and then you actually just didn't bother learning it.
Yeah, I need a break. I was thinking. A quick break, Ab. How I see it is that our band was going through some kind of second stage of puberty. We'd had our run of being like right at the very top and couldn't do any wrong.
And by this
Yeah.
point, you know, you've got the new younger bands coming through. You know, you got One Direction and the Vamps,
Wow.
who are kind of
See?
compared to you. You're like, they're the new you. And be like, God, we've got to that point. already.
I wouldn't even put it that way. Like One Direction, yeah, they're a good boy band. I did enjoy their music a lot, but I wouldn't compare them to McFly. Like these are rock stars. You know what I'm saying? These are rock stars. I do like One Direction, Zayn and Harry.
That was quick.
I do know some
That was the
of them,
hardest thing for us. Accepting,
I don't
okay,
know.
maybe
I don't really like to
we're not
compare
quite
certain
selling as many
certain
tickets as we
groups
were. We're not
and music artists,
just going straight to
especially
number
when they
one
make
every
different
time.
music.
I lost sight of, and with my bandmates making music that I love,
But
I was actually focused on how to write a song that's going to be number one again. How do we make an album
but I'm
that's going
guessing
to give
like
us a
they were
sellout
just
tour
trying to
again?
like say
How
like,
do we
who's the
become the
biggest
band
band
that
in
everyone
like the
screams the
UK
loudest for
sort
at
of
these
thing.
shows again?
We then went through that stage where the songs were overthought and they just weren't as good.
I feel like that was the start of me becoming really difficult to be in a band with, because I'd assumed this role of the leader of the band.
And so, there was a bit of tension, I think, for Danny. He sometimes felt like not listened to.
I always felt like, Danny and Dougie, they'll get over it, or they're easy to please. But it weren't. It was deeper than that. It was like we felt so frustrated. The amount I used to say or the way I felt, and it never got heard.
Tom and I actually had quite a turbulent relationship in the first part of being in McFly. We kind of wanted to lead naturally, and Danny and Dougie were a lot more laid back and kind of just went along with things.
I was awful to Harry back in the day, because I was like, especially musically, because I had this vision of what the sound was going to be and how the drums should go, and we'd end up screaming at each other, but it was creative arguments.
One of the main singers
we'd
and the
argue,
drummer.
and then we'd go home and play video games and order pizza.
I
that
never
never
really,
happened with
in a band, I never really heard of like the drummer being like the leader of the group. It's always the singer or the main singer or whoever but a singer.
He would never lose his temper. He
One
just
Direction, because One Direction is all
bubble up
singers. They don't play guitar.
for
Like
years
they don't
and years.
compare to McFly.
I always remember
just
that
sing
Dougie's first time we went to
dance
rehab, and we were in
moves,
a car park, and he said, "Lads, we're going to check this out
Look cute.
tonight." And I just felt so overwhelming, like, wow, when you're so close to someone like that, and it's like you think you know everything about them, and suddenly they've got this huge weight on their shoulders and challenging addiction and all that.
I really, really struggle with confrontation. Maybe like when I was in my early 20s, through things going on in my life, I went to rehab and learned that I can't just keep putting yourself in situations that you find uncomfortable. It was me being like super, super submissive that had driven me into rehab. So I had to stop being like that, which was the hardest thing.
As lads, we were good at talking, but we weren't very good at emotionally talking.
People were just like sitting on issues and probably building resentments. Yeah, little things getting swept under the rug have just started to
build up.
Now you can see a little hump in the rug where there's so much crap under there.
We would not really communicate because we love each other.
Also,
we never
guys, no, I don't mean to interrupt abruptly, but I know that you guys are like way ahead, like 5 hours ahead. So I will try to be uploading a little bit more early so that I can make sure that I'm on y'all timing. You feel me?
really hurt each other.
I remember Tom and Dougie
on YouTube
talking about this
2 in the
idea.
afternoon.
I was like, why are they talking about something that's really exciting that I'm not involved in? And that was like, whoa, the dynamics changed a bit, because I was like, I thought we were like together on everything.
I was writing this book with Dougie, and I didn't ever tell Danny I was going to do that. Not that I felt like I had to ask his permission, but deep down I knew I should have communicated that to him.
Yeah.
Because he, I don't know if he would have cared about it, but it would have been nice for him to know.
I think the main thing about the book was just feeling uninvolved, like uninvited. Yeah, because we always did everything together. I like that about us. And that was the first kind of thing that it was like, okay, maybe we don't do everything together.
It's the stuff when we don't argue. That's when we ran into trouble.
Yeah,
it's when we didn't communicate and we didn't do the shouting and we didn't do that. That's when it was really difficult.
McBusted was hugely successful and it sorted out a lot of the problems, but it just kind of covered over the cracks.
Yeah, I definitely was rocking out to a couple of those Robert Hall performances. Amazing. With the McBusted, amazing. Make sure that y'all check out some of those if y'all haven't yet.
McBusted was rad. I absolutely love Matt and James.
Yeah,
always
I
had
like
that connection with
McBusted.
Anyway, so doing McBusted.
Check out some McBusted suggestions. Leave them
Different
in the
group of
comments
mates over
below.
to play.
We were back in our comfort zone. You know, we were selling out arenas and we were reliving our glory days.
Right.
And not many people get to do that.
We all got together that morning when the tour went on sale. And we got the call to be like, all 11 shows have sold out. They're going to put more on.
Legends.
And then they
That's
sold
some
out.
legendary
And they
stuff.
put more on. And then they sold out.
Comeback.
And then we got a call around midday on
Sold
that
out
day.
shows
We got a call saying,
again.
like, you've been offered to headline Hyde
Wow, a
Park
decade later
in
too,
the summer.
right?
And we're just like, what?
That was sick. That was like beyond anything that I ever thought I'd ever do.
I'd achieved one of the dreams I had as a kid, which was play the same stage as Bruce Springsteen. And we just kind of did it as a band, and it was a massive, overwhelming day that day.
Remember, I said that's a lot of people. That looked like such a vibe.
Four-piece band.
I wish
Just a
concerts and
group of
things
four,
were open,
you know, four friends
available
who
right
are
now.
inseparable.
Everything that's going
Suddenly
on.
adding
Just,
2 new people to that is strange.
Having Matt and James come in and almost laughing at some of our things that we took seriously or would squabble about, I liked. I'm like, yeah, it's like ridiculous some of the stuff we argued about.
In McBusted, I said nothing. I was like Dougie. And Dougie had become more like I was. Dougie did like all of the chat on stage.
Why is the little one talking? Wait, that guy can talk?
He definitely changed a bit, you know. And for the first time, I just started hearing him say, like, I spoke to so-and-so and they said, like, you're crazy and why don't you do this and why don't you do that? And it was just like, oh, okay.
The whole issue with this situation was all down to communication.
McBusted was kind of like the plaster we were putting on the McFly wounds for a while. And we were happy just to, you know, to go with that for a bit. I guess in the back of our heads, knowing at some point we were going to have to take that plaster off.
I think I watched a couple of O2 Arena shows as well.
So McBusted was coming to an end. Me, Danny and Tom had started the McFly conversation and Doug was never joining in on the conversation. And we were starting to get a bit nervous.
There was all these kind of like rumors that Doug was having acting lessons and, you know, going off to LA. Part of me was like, no, someone's got that wrong. And the other part was like, if that's true, then why hasn't he told me? Like, feeling really upset that it's like, he's got a whole new circle of friends that I don't even know about. I don't have any friends outside of these guys.
We were on tour in Europe with McBusted and I managed to arrange like a dinner for the 4 of us because we needed the McFly chat.
And this was like a defining moment, I feel like, in the stuff that followed and the kind of unraveling of our friendships.
We started talking about McFly, how we were going to approach the writing, where should we record, and me and Danny and Tom were getting really excited.
But Dougie just stayed quiet through the whole thing.
I was just feeling like, oh my God, this is horrible. We're losing him and there's nothing I can do.
It was a Mexican restaurant that we'd ordered these like nachos
Makes
to
it seem
share.
a little bit more
I
dramatic.
feel like it's like the most symbolic thing. We got to this point that there was 4 nachos left in the middle of the table and Harry picked one and ate it.
And then Tom took
4
his
nachos.
one. Danny had his.
And then there was 1 nacho left. And Dougie didn't eat the nacho. And I remember just sitting there in my head going, eat the nacho.
Doug, please just eat the nacho. Just eat
Oh,
the nacho.
nacho. I thought you were saying
band
nacho. I'm reading the
is the
subtitles.
nachos. And if he doesn't eat that nacho, he doesn't want to be in the band anymore.
I finally just broke and I was like, Doug, dude, do you want the nacho? And he was like, nah, man, I'm fine. I was like,
It's gone. I don't know if I was playing
Doug,
it off.
man.
Maybe I was. As I said, like I'm terrible with drama. I don't know how to deal with that.
the tour finished. We went away for a couple of weeks and then
Yeah, I'm not a
it
drama
was the
person
dreaded
myself
night in
either.
Notting Hill where we all met up.
Yeah, so the Notting Hill meeting was a strange one.
Doug called us all together for a meeting and said, I'm going to LA.
I remember getting a sense of like drama within like the circle, and 4 of us need a reset. Just take a little bit of a break.
I remember just saying, well, are you ever going to want to do it? And he was like, I don't know.
We were just shell shocked, really.
And he just said, look, What I'm saying is if you're going to carry on and do the band right now, then I'm out.
It was like this huge blow. You know, so it's so unjustified, really. I felt so betrayed. Not because he wanted a break from the band, because he hadn't told me.
We'd been a band for 13 years, all we'd ever known. It was everything to us. And suddenly it was like, for the first time, it was gone.
An hour ago, we were in two bands, McBusted and McFly, and now we have nothing, and we're a band member down.
It's crazy because, like, yeah, even though they still had McBusted, oh, it's almost over. Even though they still had McBusted, like the other two members, losing one, you know, core member or original member was like it was over. Like they didn't really mess with it anymore. I've seen a couple like boy groups or like even girl groups. You know, if one of the members decided to drop out, they might just leave that group as it is, or they'll bring in another, you know, substitute, so to call it. But you know, they was like, if it's not with our brother, then we don't want it.
I remember going home that night, lying in bed, and my heart was just thumping. And I'd just be like, I can't believe it, you know.
McFly had been the defining
like
thing in my life, and now the band's not here. I don't know who I am without this band.
Guys, I've booked the O2. Who's in?
Well, it says still to come, so I'm gonna pause it right there. That is it for this video. If y'all want to see part 2, I can't do it tonight, but we gotta get this video to 10 likes. And if we get it to 10 likes, I'll drop part 2. That's it for this video, y'all. Hope that y'all enjoyed this A's late night. We out, though.